It was after. It was in the afternoon.
Broski?
No.
YouTube is now also live. What up, YouTube? Are y'all boys ready? Y'all girls ready? Tank gonna use it to Google stuff.
Okay.
Cause he, you know how Tank like to question me, even though I am the smartest man alive.
Yeah.
I like to question everybody. But you throw out Jack's facts.
Jack's facts. I like that. Well, you put a trademark on that. Jack's facts. You see it? All right. Mike good. Facebook on, YouTube on. Let's go. All right. Starting the intro in 3, 2, 1. Stephanie, make sure your phone on silent. I sure you good. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All power to the people. It's the Bruh Listen Podcast, the Black podcast focusing on social political issues and how they affect our community. With your hosts, Bria Ward, Cedric Owens, and Anthony Rogers. Bruh, listen. Bruh Nation, what's good? We got the greatest intro of all time. Tank remember it. Hey, at least he listened to the intro of the show. He don't listen to nothing else. Yeah, he don't listen to nothing else.
658 studios in it.
It's 685.
What?
It's 85.
Whatever it is.
685 studios. Yeah, we proud of you though. Yeah, we proud of you, Tank. What's up, Bruh Nation? We live streaming on Saturday at 6 p.m. as usual on Facebook. What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? Yeah, man, we just here at it again, episode number 24.
24 of these motherfuckers.
Who's the greatest number 24 of all time, cuz?
Kobe.
Kobe? You damn right it was Kobe. Don't roll your eyes, bro. You goddamn right it was Kobe.
Kobe didn't want to be 23 because he wanted to be better than
Better than one up from 23. That's a whole different discussion for a whole nother podcast. But nah, man, we appreciate everybody coming and joining us today. We got a very special episode for y'all. If y'all follow us, which I hope y'all do, we had our Bruh Listen number 2 debut this Thursday. Bruh Listen to my story with our special guest Carrie. She gave us a little bit of insight into her life and stuff, and we just want to thank her for doing that and sharing it with us. So we appreciate that.
in case y'all didn't listen to it, want to tell them what it was about?
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second. Yeah. But we appreciate that, and now we're going to roll into that episode today. Backing it up, it's going to be about sex trafficking and stuff like that, because that's what the episode was about.
Snatching bitch.
Yeah, so we'll get into it, but we're going to first introduce our guest host. Like Michael Myers. Yeah, but we're going to introduce our guest host first. We got Stephanie here. This is her first time doing anything like this, but she is on her road to being a social worker. She graduated in May, and then she just accepted an internship at the Hubbard House. So this is one of her specialties, helping victims and stuff like that. Stephanie, say a little something.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Tell them about yourself. Where you from?
Jacksonville.
That's right. This nigga's sister. Yeah.
Hey, tell him about yourself. What he just said.
I know, right?
You ain't got nothing else you want to say?
No.
What made you get into the social work field? What made you want to do that?
I mean, just being around people.
My mama.
Just being around different people. Everybody kind of have a story, and stuff going on. So.
We've seen a lot of ratchet bitches in our lifetime.
Yeah, we have some.
We got tired of seeing stupid shit.
We have
Like somebody
got
got
help.
in this stupid shit I see going on.
Somebody got to help. That's cool. As y'all can see, Tank lively.
Salute.
Bria, how you feeling? You fine? Y'all, I know y'all couldn't hear that, but Bria said she fine. You sure you all right, Bria?
Yes.
She said yes, y'all. Yes, y'all.
She get yes and stop fucking with her.
I gotta press her. But yeah, man, let's get into it, man. Bruh Listen 2 debut Thursday. Carrie came on there, man. She shared her story. She was forced into prostitution on Backpage by a guy who, what was it, like he was a pimp, but he had a religious undertone about it. He's a Nawabian. I'm trying to So he had religion, but she was forced into the sex trade. So what we're gonna do with Bruh Listen 2, every time we have a guest, whatever they talk about, the next episode of Bro Listen, we're gonna follow up with it. And if you haven't checked that out, make sure y'all go check it out. It's on the same thing right here. Y'all don't have to subscribe to a new podcast. Just go back to the one right before this stream. So yeah, let's get into human trafficking real quick, man. So I looked it up earlier. 800,000 people per year are sold into like human trafficking. Of that 800,000, 42% are for sex trade and 26% are for slavery.
I just want to know, do we care if it's another country or we just worry about America?
I was just about to say that. America is 14 to 17,000 per year, which is that's a heavy number. But also the number one,
800,000.
800,000 is the overall number, and in the world, and 14 to 17,000 per year in America, and $32 billion are made off the sex trafficking industry every year. And when you want to know how this pertains to black people, African countries are the number 1 through number 20 countries for sex trafficking. So the first 20 countries for sex trafficking is from Africa.
It's so hard to get in. That's why I like to focus on America, because if we talk about, y'all.
No, I'm talking about the mic. You know, you good.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Let me grab my own mic.
Yeah, continue.
That seemed kind of pause.
Continue.
Goddamn microphone, boy. Hey, look here. Now, Africa. I mean, it's such a different dynamic over there than how it is over here. It's like that'll be a whole nother discussion, because they got so many tribal and economic and
I agree.
issues over there. Snatching a bitch.
Yeah.
It's different if you
Well,
snatch a bitch.
we talking about modern day American sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Because we want to talk about sex workers' rights. We want to talk about them being how they get treated as a victim or whatever. Like,
Well, then where is America on that list? We said Africa.
America is real low, real low.
Real low when it comes to
Like
this.
what?
We're not one of the top ones, but I could just third world shit.
Yeah.
Third world.
You can't
shit.
even compare America to these countries.
Okay.
Because you're talking about even like right next to us in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? In America is freaking 14 to 17,000 people per year, which that's still a shit ton of people. But right next to us in Mexico is 100,000. So great. On the Western Hemisphere, the two heaviest countries for sex trafficking is Mexico and Brazil. Which, as soon as you say that, it's instant like, oh yeah, duh, or whatever. But a lot of these people, something I got from the reaction from the interview I did with Carrie was a lot of people just automatically went into the whole like, oh, she lying, fuck her, whatever, yada yada yada. How y'all feel about that? We start with Kate. Stephanie, how you feel about that? How you feel about that? How you feel about people, being victims and being victim shamed? What, what I'm saying? Like we was talking about the other day. The whole tank don't like the
Go
victim.
ahead.
Go ahead, Steph.
Go ahead.
Like, why would somebody just want to make that up? Like, I mean, it's not something that people can like benefit from. Just saying they've been in human trafficking. Like that's.
I could tell you why somebody would make something up.
Go ahead.
me. Well, I could tell they wouldn't make up the story of it, but somebody would try to excuse their culpability in the situation, and what they're responsible for, their responsibility in the situation. And if you point out their irresponsibilities, then it's victim shaming. Which I'm not blaming. This nigga did some fucked up shit to it. Regardless of that, I'm saying some steps along the way could have helped in preventing the situation from happening.
Go ahead, Bree.
I'm not trying to shame
got a
her.
lot to say. Go ahead, Bree.
What shit happened?
Go ahead, Bree.
I'm not gonna say I totally disagree, but I disagree.
No.
I think that. What you mean?
You never do totally disagree.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I think that some steps, like listening to her story, I think some of the steps along the way could have been avoided or could have avoided the situation. However, I don't know. It just makes me so sick thinking that people can do that to other people. I don't think that just because she made that decision to go to South Carolina or these other women make decisions to trust somebody that it makes them vulnerable or it makes them subject to being taken advantage of in that way.
Cold water, better
Ever.
get a
I
swallow.
know, but it's just, I don't think I can ever blame that person for wanting to
Of
trust
course
and
not.
wanting to be human. I blame the person that's evil. Like, why are you that evil?
Of course,
That
of
you
course.
would
It's just
abduct
like-
somebody.
It's just like
Who
when
thinks of this on a day-to-day basis? I'm gonna abduct
I don't know, some
somebody.
fucked
up
today.
niggas.
So-
Yeah, people do that.
Yeah,
People do that.
pimps,
All
evil
the time.
I'm just
See, for
like,
me, it's
well,
something
not kill. See, we gotta distinguish the sex.
Okay,
trafficking
sex
from-
traffickers.
Yeah.
Whatever
I mean, it is a
call
pimp
them.
though, but
Right.
I don't want to
Who give a
mix
fuck
the
about
two.
you? Nah, fuck pimp.
Because it ain't the same thing. A pimp, is pimp don't go out and snatch a bitch or whatever and have you working on.
That was it.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I think
he's a sex
I think he's splitting hair.
He goes to a
That's a
pimp to
different
help
story.
himself.
That's a different story. That's a different story
But
though.
he's the dude. No,
Yes,
he's
he's
the
a pimp. Yeah, but that's still a different story though.
That's my point though.
that's his point. He's saying,
Okay, I'll give you that then. I can see.
I can just say fuck all, because some of the shit, it might be necessary. If you ain't got no pimp and you out there selling pussy on back, say niggas could rape you like a motherfucker. Who gonna, and that's because the shit ain't regulated, it ain't legal.
Right, and then we're gonna get into
You gotta
that
have
a little
that
bit.
force there.
Regulating it and making it legal. But I thought about this, Bria, when we were coming up to get ready to do this. I was like, man, it's gonna be real interesting to see Bria's reaction to this because, you know, not clowning Bria or nothing, but I know you're real green to a lot of this stuff or whatever. Like, you ain't never experienced. The three of us, we done been through some shit, so we done seen some stuff. But like for Bria to,
This story is shocking.
yeah, like no, I
It's
think
shocking
for
me too. I mean,
It wasn't.
go ahead, Stephanie.
it's shocking to me too. I mean, still, I saw a lot, but
Not like that, yeah.
I'm not surprised.
You know what I think too? I think this is also like the reaction that we were getting with the whole, that I was getting with the whole, what a line hole and this, that, and the other.
All right, some niggas go too far.
Yeah, they do. They do. And, but serious, verbatim, I had 3, that whole line. Like 3, verbatim. And here go my here go my thing about that. Here go my thing with that. When we talked about the Me Too movement a few weeks back, right? And we was wondering, like, had a guy hijacked and shit? And yes, it has. It has been hijacked and stuff like that. But I think that's part of the reason why these women started this junk in the first place. Because it really did, doing the interview with Carrie, really did open my eyes with the reaction. It opened my eyes to, like, no wonder women scared to come forward and say, oh, this happened to me. Because when you do, you get shamed. You're like, oh, you a hoe, you a slut, you this, you that.
People don't believe it.
But people have this, they have this thing where if it doesn't happen to them or it doesn't happen around them, that it's not real.
It ain't real.
It's kind of like what Stephanie said. Like, how can you make something like that up? Like, if you listen to her story, I just cannot see how.
That's a lot of
she
shit to
was
make up.
using
Y'all
the
make sure
word-
y'all go listen
She
to
was
it.
using the
That's
verbiage.
just dumb.
Bruh, I'm
There was
telling you,
people that
I
said
got a
that
ton of people tell me,
Y'all niggas fucked up. Now look, I said,
Seriously?
hold on, wait a second, Tay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Listen,
saying. Like,
listen,
so
if you
say-
said that,
if you
and you
listen to that interview, there's no way you
Right.
that should be your response.
And if you said that, and you watching this show, you know you wrong if Tank said y'all fucked up. Tank was like, wait a minute.
Like, flat out.
Yeah,
maybe they don't know how to articulate.
No, bro. When
I
you
think
come out here like
that
that
when
whole
you-
line,
Right.
and then when
That's
I
the first thing you say?
explain it, and I'm like, yo, well, she not lying because A, I vetted her story,
Yeah.
and then I was like, B, you know what I'm saying? When I talked to her, it was true emotion and this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. And then here's their response to that. Like that's their response, like the teach
This,
stuff.
can't believe
this is what it is. It's
It's-
like this. Because it's like when the bitches that fuck Bill Cosby. It's like this. You know Bill Cosby got this reputation. You know he like to fuck sleepy hoes. You know what? You know, and I don't even because some I don't even need to realize that you go into a man hotel room, mean he want to fuck. I don't give a damn who it is. God damn it.
But see again, that go back to we can't.
Yes, you got to know that.
Bro,
I'm not going to give.
I get what
you
you're
saying.
saying
This
out there. But
women we got to
That's a
hold
different
them.
situation.
We got to hold them to accountability as if they're adults, just like us. You got to be responsible.
But see, here's my response. to
But
that.
when
Go
people
ahead.
be manipulating you and stuff, he be
Right.
Oh,
Well, no,
Lord.
no.
Oh,
The
they
only
wouldn't
thing
be
I
able
can
to.
say about her story that
I mean-
Tank is correct is that, you know, you met him online and you had him come pick you and your daughter up from North Carolina to South Carolina. That's the only thing in her story that I
To
think
go
is
to a
kinda like-
hotel room.
yeah, to go to a hotel.
What the
That
fuck?
was just like a little like, what? And you
But she
only
was
know
gonna
him
stay
for
at the
certain
hotel by
amount of time.
herself, is what she said. But He was gonna get them a room to stay there, and then during the day, they
Yeah,
were
but
gonna
she
spend time.
hadn't been talking to him that long for them to establish that type of trust.
Again, I have to tell y'all, I agree with y'all. I'm not disagreeing with what y'all saying about responsibility and culpability, and I'm not disagreeing with you about you need to know better. But what I will tell y'all again is catfish is real, bro.
Yeah,
People that like this is my thing. We constantly put ourselves into these bubbles where we think, okay, well I got some damn sense, so this person got some damn sense. Bullshit. Trump is president. The world fucked up, and people. That's it. And that's the thing. Most people is prey, dog. Most people don't get it. And I'm not trying to put down the shit on nobody who's going through something domestic or sexual violence or any of that stuff. Step forward, get help, whatever. But the reason why most people going through that because they weak. A lot of people couldn't even sit up here at this table and talk, bro.
But that's gonna,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
but that coming to go with the stuff she went through before that. But I'm saying she went through a lot.
Yeah, and that's
So-
another thing too. Most of these sex traffic, I looked this up. Most I think it was like 67% of sex trafficking victims or human trafficking victims were sexually or physically abused when they was a kid. That's hot. Like,
And I'm pretty sure she probably at some point told him that, and that was his opportunity.
that's right.
She could take it.
Right. They see,
Yeah.
they hit
So-
an inch, they take a
Thank
mile.
you for saying
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, ain't no giving the nigga a pass for praying,
So,
praying on the week.
Nobody don't think the nigga a good nigga or nothing like that. But I do think,
I just want basic sense.
right, but see, here go my thing. I do think us as people, we have to be more compassionate. This is why I said this on the podcast. I know you said I was Martell Williams, but I was just trying to be compassionate. Here's my thing why we got to be more compassionate. We have to realize, especially, and I said this before on the podcast, the people who are smarter, we have to realize that we've set up a society where dumb people don't die, right? So we have to be more compassionate for people who don't understand.
Well, we don't have to be nothing.
We don't have to be, but we should be.
Shit. Wait, goddamn.
Everybody out there in Bro Nation, Tank say
Savage.
bite the dust.
You
Yeah.
know, you are a savage.
Tank say fuck y'all.
I mean, that would be nice. I mean, or that would just be all cherries and strawberries in the sky. But we animals, goddamn it. That people is fucked up.
Let's get into this real. Oh, go ahead, bro. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say at this point in time, there's so much information that's out there, and we have the internet and we have technology that I think that you're doing your own self a disservice not to learn about what's out there and what you can do to prevent those things. I'm not saying that for her it was what she said it was 2014 that
Yeah.
happened to her.
Yeah.
But as for now, like we're having this podcast and people are listening, like get the information and learn from it and actually follow it. It's not a joke.
You know what sex traffickers looking for?
Yeah.
They
For
look at-
those people who said that she probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what sex traffickers looking for? They looking for young, inexperienced, naive girls. Or runaways, like Tank said, or whatever, right? So they looking for a girl who nobody looking for. So like they don't fell out with their family or whatever, and then they go and run away and they get caught up in some stuff. Like you say, they in the street. Once you in the street or whatever, the street gonna get you or whatever. So they looking for that, or they looking for somebody who naive. Like with Carrie's situation in particular or whatever, she from a rural town in North Carolina where her life sound like a country music video. So she don't really know nothing. And I know somebody else from a rural town in North Carolina, and she also don't have no damn sense. Luckily, Mark married her, and she in a stable environment. But a lot of women who ain't never experienced something, like somebody snatched Bria up easily if Bria wasn't headstrong and can do MMA chokeholds on them. Kickbox supreme.
We are not gonna go through this
Man,
every
come on, man.
podcast.
It's
We
a
are
running
not.
day.
Sorry.
Y'all know Bria be in that cage.
All I want to let
Hey.
brothers and females know is hotel room mean dick. It's basic. The hotel room mean dick. What
That's
else?
true.
Goddamn it.
That's what
that
it
is
means.
very true though. He
That's
got
true.
a
It's
point.
no-
If a man invite you,
If he invite you to the hotel room, of course.
And it's not victim blaming if I say, why did you go to the hotel room? No, he shouldn't have did whatever the fuck he did. He
Right.
shouldn't have
It
did
still
that.
don't happen in
And I'm not
schools.
going to blame you for what he did. But I will ask, why you go to the hotel room? Hotel room mean dick. You 20-something years old. You should know this. I don't care if you got your baby with you. I put the baby in the corner. I'm going to get that pussy. If he wasn't a fucked up nigga, it's still, even if he wasn't a sex trafficker or something, the point of him saying come to the hotel room mean at some point you want to fuck in the hotel.
So say this, okay? So say you talking to a dude online, and
Who that, me? Okay.
Yeah, you
Talk
talk
to a nigga
you
online.
talk to him, and you like
Yeah, 2 women there.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm already talking to you. You talking to a dude online or whatever, and you like the dude or whatever, and for whatever reason you online talking to him or whatever, you go to meet him. You probably do want to smash though, right? You probably do want to smash. So
Right, thank
you just probably was thinking, I'm just gonna. You probably think it's gonna be normal, and you was just gonna smash the dude, but the dude ended up being a freaking kidnapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't put yourself in a
Yeah,
fucked up
right. So it's
situation.
like it's like women always have to be on extra guard, anyways, because even when you want like you know,
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm
Tank was saying, yeah.
right? Because like if me and Bria was hanging out and kicking it or whatever, and Bria wanted to smash or whatever, that's cool. But if she puts herself into that situation, makes herself vulnerable, and I decide to attack her or make it different or whatever, she'll MMA kick me. But if she was a normal person who didn't know MMA, she shouldn't be like have to do that extra. It's too much,
The
man.
difference is
Stop doing this shit, niggas.
with a man, we not, whatever situation we in, we not worried about that woman fucking
Right.
us in the ass. Right?
Ain't no woman
Because-
gonna attack us, but women should always have to worry about a man attacking them. So the real problem is men are predators. Period.
I mean, it's
Not all of us, but shit, it's too many of y'all for us not to take the blame.
Well,
So yeah.
women say, girl, give me that.
Yeah, see?
You can't take it.
Bria eyes got big like she ain't never heard that song.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
You ain't never heard that song?
women don't ask, and you say, give me that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta be forceful. Some women like that.
I disagree. Don't do it,
That's a
y'all.
lie.
Don't do it.
That's
I think
a
you should wait for the woman to let you know that she likes that.
That's
No.
no. First of all, okay. Oh, we get into a whole nother subject. But I do want to say, a lot of women don't like to. Let me tell you something about a chick. When I was in middle school, no, I was in high school.
Tell it.
All right. I went to the chick house and I'm thinking I'm finna smash. Goddamn it! But the whole time she said no. I'm not the nigga to just rape a bitch. That ain't in me. Oh well, thank God. So I just left.
True.
Know what happened the next day? This bitch said, why we ain't fuck?
Wait, I'm done. I'm
Well,
done with life.
anyway.
I'm done with life right now.
Cosign. No, my credit
I
good.
swear on anything.
Wait, my credit good. Cosign. I also have been in a situation with a chick where I go over her place and I actually, matter of fact, this happened twice. I went over her place.
Y'all lucky.
What? I went over her place. But real talk though, I went over the chick place and it was the same thing. She
Yeah.
was acting like she didn't want to do nothing, so I left because I'm not a raper. I don't even that whole. I'm not even into the whole. You better take. I don't even play that. I don't even do that. And then she came on my place later on when I was living in an apartment with Slim, whatever, right? She came on my place later on. Same thing happened again. And then she stopped talking to me and started calling me, right? So I called her, like, you stop talking to me. Oh, you act like you don't want to do nothing. You ain't take it. I was like, nigga. So I about to put me in jail.
I see the face, real.
I'm sorry,
This
I don't
is
even
nudity.
understand that.
See, this is nudity. You don't know
Yeah,
how you
like, I
react.
ain't never heard that. I'm
It's
a
savage
different
bitches
type of
out here.
person though. It's either yes or no.
It's
That's
savage
it.
bitches out here, Bria.
You just
Bruh, nah. Tank right. I got a cosign on Tank all the way with
That's
that.
like you can't. It's not always clear as just. Well, this is my thing. Ain't no accidental raping a bitch. Nigga know if they raping a bitch.
Yes.
But it's not always a clear sign of female gonna say, okay, yes, we could fuck. Yes, you could advance on me. Yes, you could do this.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you just have to know.
Well, see, for me, I just don't play that. I'm not taking nothing because you might change your mind in the middle of me taking it, and I don't know what's going on. And safe words don't work, so I'm not dealing with all that shit. So no,
Accidentally raping bitches.
yeah, ain't no accidental raping over here. Bitch, I'll be all right.
Shit. Don't play with my emotions.
I don't understand that.
I won't rape you, but I might black you. Let me shut up.
oh, all right.
Speaking of that, anyway, let's get into this. I want to talk about this. So I was looking up, what happens like to people, the persecution or the prosecution of sex trafficking victims or whatever, right? So the victim themselves, or not the victim, but the prostitutes themselves are the most heavily persecuted. The most heavily persecuted or prosecuted of the three circles of sex traffickers, which is like the main, big time dude, the little side pimps or whatever, and then the workers or whatever. Sex workers have higher penalties than anybody else or whatever. So, like, do you think legalization is the only way to fix that? What do you think,
Yeah, probably. or whatever. Legalization is always the best thing to stop the criminal system, but we got for-profit prisons and we got a
society
a society that
advocates arresting people.
advocates arresting people for paying for pussy for some reason. Goddamn, I don't know what my dick got to do with anybody else.
It's crazy, man, because if you listen to the story that Carrie told when the police came, when JSO came, he basically verbally lashed at her and was like, "Get out of my face, hoe, trick,
Yeah,
prostitute."
same thing like the other people.
Yeah, just like
He
everybody
probably deal with hoes all the time.
Exactly.
He probably thought that she was another one of them. He's like,
Yeah,
I ain't got time for this. I'm
but-
tired of y'all bitches.
Yeah, but every
I got it.
situation sometimes could be a little different. And if you supposed to have the mind or whatever, the ability, you officer, whatever, however they, you're supposed to have some sign supposed to be like, wait, you know what I'm saying? Should have been some sign for you to.
To me, I feel like it's inexcusable because it is. When you're a cop, your job is to serve and protect. Regardless if you deal with hoes every day and you don't want to write the paperwork or whatever, that's your job, dog. So your job is when if Bria run to you or the trick who you done arrested 20 times run to you and say, help, you supposed to help. Period, point blank, end the story. So I don't want to hear that out their mouth that they I deal with this all day when they want to say that same shit when we be like, fuck the police. Oh, you don't know how hard my job is. You're right, I don't, because you don't fucking do it. So when I have somebody that's a victim that come up to you, I don't care how much paperwork you gotta write up. You write up your fucking paperwork.
Because that's your job.
Thank you. Say it again, Bria.
That is your job. Period.
Period.
I don't care if she came out and said that she was lying later. Okay, lock her up, whatever.
Right,
But
right.
in that moment, she is crying help, and she is crying, and she got bruises, and she's showing you all this stuff.
Bruises.
And
That's what I'm saying.
you tell her to get out, and you gonna believe the other man because this is a man issue. Just saying.
But scared of
No, I agree with you. You ain't
I'm
gotta
just
say that.
saying,
That's
like-
true because he went and talked to the pimp.
And then it's
Why
something
you
else.
going and talking to the
And
pimp?
like what? That
Well,
makes
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
no sense.
But they do that on Go ahead, Stephanie.
I mean, well,
What was
they
he
have to
supposed
get
to
the
do?
other side, right?
Yeah, what was he supposed to do?
Okay, here's my thing.
What would
If
he
a-
do?
Hey, here's my thing. If a girl say,
Take that whole with me.
there you go.
You should.
There you go.
Should have
You're right.
took it to like
Take
a
it with
safe
you.
place.
He
or something.
chose-
How can you drive off?
He chose to believe the man over the woman's story. He didn't know if she was lying or not, but he chose that, oh, let me go talk to this man. We talk
Exactly.
man to man, and all of a sudden the woman's lying, even though it
And
really
let me
didn't
piggyback
happen.
on that. Let me piggyback on
Should he
that.
have talked to the man at all? No.
Huh? No, wait.
He
Here go my
shouldn't talk
thing.
to the
Here go my point. Here go my
No,
point.
that's not-
Say for example, just hear me out. I'm not gonna be long with it. Hear me out. So say for example, he go talk to both of them just like he did. He drive off just like he did. Get out my face before I arrest you, and he drive off. Then later on, your boy come up there and he kill her or whatever, right? I guarantee there will be no track record of the way that police talk to them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, he was supposed to talk to the man. That's his fucking job. He also should have wrote up the paperwork and he should have took her to a victim shelter.
Right.
Period, point
That should be
blank.
his first
Do your
step.
damn
And
job.
then, if he would have went up there to kill her, they were trying to find some way to blame it on her.
Her.
The whole
You
situation.
damn right. Dude,
And he would
do your
never
damn
give
job.
her a man before.
Do your damn job. That's my
Never.
point. Because when
Police.
but see, yeah, the police ain't shit. And this is my point
I don't
about
call
but
police
the-
for shit.
the whole system ain't shit because this is my point about this whole thing. If you going down Phillips Highway and you catch a girl tricking, right? And the girl get caught tricking, the John get a night in jail and then he get a fine. And the girl go to jail and then depending on which prostitution charge she is, she might get 10 to 12 years. The pimp, the dude never say, where's your pimp? Are you being sex trafficked or nothing? And if it's her first
Nobody asked
charge,
that question.
right?
Nobody, yeah.
Nobody says
Nobody
that.
asked, you could have been in sex trafficking from the time that you were what, 10? You could have got
12.
abducted when you were
Man,
10.
you asked the bitch when it's her pimp. Alright, she better not give her pimp up.
But then that's my thing. So what? How
Yeah,
you gonna
I
improve it and make
Well,
it better? I'm just
you-
telling the truth. What
Either-
it is. That's what we said. The
In my
system got to
situation, I'm
change.
giving that nigga up.
That's
I
what
mean,
you that's what you say now until
I'm
you
giving
seen
that nigga up.
until you seen him fuck a bitch up and put her in the hospital and
Well,
then kill her.
At this point in
Bitch
my
after
life,
bitch
I've
after
been
bitch.
out there. I'd rather be.
You gotta get to that point. though,
So
right?
Stephanie,
You gotta-
working with victims or learning about working with victims and stuff like that, and they do have a fear of telling on the abuser or whatever. What do they tell y'all to say in those situations? What would you do in that situation as a counselor?
You kind of put me out there, but I mean, you have to let them know what could happen, like if they stay or if they deny. I mean, the situation couldn't. I mean, either way it goes, it's not going to get any better. But at the same time, if you stay, you can still get murdered or killed, or if you told, you know, whatever, something could still happen to you,
So
or
you
whatever.
just-
So it's not safe to stay or not tell. how can I say it? Like, it's safer to tell than not to. If
Right.
that makes sense.
Because you can get protection.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then when they finally did, with Carrie's situation, when they finally did get the police involved, they gave her a shelter and like victims advocate stuff and all that other stuff or whatever. The police should have did that in the first place. I don't understand how a woman nowadays, especially the girl white, a white woman run up to you, well, the police was black. So a white woman run up to you. Weird shit.
That just changed the whole dynamic. I'm so sorry.
But nevertheless, I don't understand how a white woman run up to you in 2017 and say, hell, and you be like, get from me, you fucking bitch.
Get the fuck away from.
That's bad.
Bird Nation,
Man, that's bad.
Bird Nation, I'm disappointed in us.
Hey, get the fuck away from me, white bitch. Let me go talk to this nigga.
Hey, bro, come here, bro. You hear this bitch? What this bitch talking about, bro?
Been talking about some
You fuck
girl.
with this bitch.
Man, that's probably
Man,
real.
that's exactly
That's
what
how
happened.
you
You know what
know.
happened, bro.
You get up
That's
out of
really
here. You
why
get
they
up
got
out of
out
here.
of this
I'm gonna take my ass home.
So I thought it was a white dude.
No. I keep the story 100. But you know what? I think that might be the race definitely played a part in that. And I would say this too. That's his beat.
So there was no police support?
Yeah, that's a police report. But not from that incident. No, the first incident with the
Oh, when no police support.
no police
Oh,
report
okay.
was written.
Yeah.
The second time around was. But the thing about it is, okay, so yes, I think race did play a part in that, but I also think it's a part of that. That's his beat. And he worked the prostitute beat.
Probably.
So he tired of prostitutes. Just like Phillips Highway, the cops probably ride up and down all day and see the same tricks tricking. And he probably, they just be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, Susan. Fuck it.
Whatever.
You made some cash today?
Maybe
I
next
mean,
week you'll get your ass.
Cops can't be out here saving hoes, but if a bitch come up to you saying, save me, you gotta do your fucking job.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
what? What the fuck you getting paid for?
Do your job, man. Bruh, they have the signs on the doors that say safe place, right? Ain't no damn safe place.
Oh, they still do that?
Yeah, they still do that.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't want to
Once
do
they
their
say you
job.
go in there.
How is it even a question if a woman run up to you and she got bruises on her arm and like, this my story, this what happened to me, and yada yada
I'll
yada.
tell you a story. I was staying in the hood, off an airline, and I hear a bang at the door, and this bitch talking about help me. Well, my baby dad beat me, or whatever, called the police, blah blah blah. I said, hold on, shut the motherfucker door. Hey, there's some crazy bitch outside. Talking about call the police. I don't fuck with the police. Come and talk to her. Let's see what's up. I don't fuck with no police. I don't call the police for shit. And so, first of all, where's this nigga at? And I'm gonna let you in the house. You just gonna let me in. I should have run from him. Man, let you in. No, she didn't say call the police. She said let me in. That was her first
Oh,
thing.
no, man.
I was like, I shut the door in the face.
So,
Oh, dang.
Oh, y'all wanna let
in
the
this
bitch in?
situation.
y'all let me in. I'm so
I
nice.
wouldn't have shut the door in her face. I'm not saying I would have let her in my house.
The longer
I
you
know-
open the door, the more time he got to come in now.
Yeah, more time. All right.
But Brandon don't ever make
So
it.
then, long story short, a nigga come up there, cause I'm not fucking
Did you
with
see
it.
the
I
video?
let baby mama and she fucking called the police or whatever. I'm like, oh, this bitch. Yeah. No, she was about to, but then the bitch said, no, don't call the police, don't put it.
What you want?
Right.
You here for this?
That's
You
that
gotta
urban
go to the
mind
next
shit.
people.
Just to make a point that sometimes crazy bitches run up on you and they fucking crazy. You don't know what kind
But
of bitch running up
what
on you.
happens in that situation though, like if you would have called the police, like no telling what he had been threatening her with that he would do if she ever told somebody or if she went to authorities or whatever. Because those type people do that. Like they be like, oh well, I'm kill your sister, I'm kill the baby. However, you never know what could have been.
If you are not going to follow through when I call the cops, do not come knocking on my door.
Worry about the face.
Everybody, help me. I'm
But-
sorry. No.
But sometimes
I
they
don't
don't know
care.
no other. Well, in this situation, that's kind of weird though. Somebody knock on your door.
and then be like, no, don't call the cop. What are you talking?
But they do that when they go to shelters or when they call whoever to help. They actually no, I don't want you to, because they're afraid of the people.
If the
Well, the
nigga
person
would
just
have, if the
understand.
nigga would have bust her head, I would have slept with a clear conscience.
Oh.
Why? Because she said don't call, don't call,
Yeah,
don't call.
what I'm gonna do? You want me to get out there and fight this nigga?
See, my thing is with the cops. I think the problem is this. I think the system is set up to where And just like the people's reaction was, oh, what a lying hoe and this, that, and the other. I think the whole system is set up the way we just don't give a fuck about sex traffic victims. I think that people want to say that it's the issue and we need to address it and blah blah blah.
The system is set up where you don't give a crap about women, period.
Yeah, I was
Like
gonna say not
women
just sex
are
trafficking.
literally on their own in this
I
country.
thought women winning now.
No.
The times are changing.
No.
I would
times are
disagree
not
with
changing.
that
You
100%.
can't just say fuck bitches, fuck women and all
But
that.
that's
shit.
how
You might not be able to
Yeah.
say it, but now I mean that it's not reflected.
It's just like racism. Like it's underlying, but you still know it's there. The same thing with
Yeah,
women.
systematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think women are mistreated. See, going back to these numbers, man, 17,000? 17,000 people. That's 17,000 people. I looked the numbers up. That's how many people in America get put into sex trafficking? That's a crazy number.
How
Yeah, I
much
don't
could that
know
number
about
go
that,
down
man.
though?
It's from the CDC, bro.
Man,
From the who?
CDC.
The CDC.
I don't trust them motherfuckers. They, they killed the nigga. That's another episode.
Dumb dumb.
Y'all know I'm bullshit. Nigga came up missing.
My thing is, how much could that number
Oh, yeah?
come down if when a cop comes to a scene and a woman saying, help me, this man is doing this to me, and they actually took the time to investigate and arrest the pimp or a sex trafficker or whatever, and investigate the situation and start arresting these people, how much could that number go down if they actually took it seriously and did their job?
And I think it's too easy.
Nah,
You don't think so? You don't think it'll go down at all?
it's like dope.
I was about to say,
As long as it's a
that's what
black
I was just about
market,
to
it's
say.
a black
I think
market
it's
shit.
too easy to start a sex trafficking ring. I think it's too easy because it's so overlooked, and people and the elephant in the room is this: the people that's patroning the businesses of the sex trafficking business are rich white men.
Basically.
That's who use it. Who used Backpage when Backpage was up? Rich white men. It was women on Backpage who had a thing that said they don't do black guys, no black guys, which means you must only be messing with white men, right?
They fuck niggas if they got no money. But
If they got, but for the most part, they try not to.
Yeah.
Because and that's because rich white men are readily patroning the business. I know for a fact that a 4-star hotel that I know about or whatever, if you work at night, you'll see these rich businessmen running women in and out of there or whatever, right? Married with rings on their finger and stuff, they patroning these women. You'll see the pimp pull up in the driveway. The pimp will walk them up to the elevator. They'll come up to the desk.
Or they'll come down.
Come up and be like, oh, what's room so and so at? And then, or the white dude will come down and the pimp will hand them off. Like he handing off dope. And you know what? Here goes something. I'm gonna say this
I
on,
salute the good pimps out there.
and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on us as a culture, as a society. The people who work there, because I know the people, because I may or may not have been one of those people. We don't do nothing. We just be like, man, look at that.
What are we supposed to do? Unless the bitch come to you crying.
I mean, yeah, but that's the
I don't
thing.
know.
That's why I said it's easy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. This bitch situation.
I was gonna say that kind of changes the situation. If she don't come and say anything,
Yeah.
or like help, what am I gonna do?
Right, but that's my point. You're right. I'm not calling just to call.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, here's what's going on.
This is
Fuck around the holes all through this bitch. Oh, we should. I'm here. This guy think he's the CEO of Winn Dixie. He got holes all up in here. I just got a party, cocaine got dropped off. But you're right. I'm not gonna just call just to call. But at the same time, we're so numb to it as a society. It don't even matter. I've seen so many of those chicks run in and out of there. I don't know if they was getting sex. Some of them didn't even look 18. I ain't give a fuck.
Oh man.
I mean, what am I supposed to do,
I
Stanley?
never seen that.
I've been there a long time.
You been
Long time.
I work in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Well, this what all you Captain Save a Hope niggas want to do. If y'all want to do this next time y'all in the hotel, y'all Captain Save a Hope. Look, and then when y'all see them, just be like, hey,
Captain Stable.
yeah, Captain Save. You want to say the hope? Just be like, hey, you straight? You straight? And then if they give you that look or whatever, like, nigga, kid, that fuck out here. If they give you that.
But I asked him like you straight too many times, so then that nigga goes
But
out
the
there.
pimp, this is a high class hotel. The pimp ain't right there with him, because a rich nigga can't walk in there with a
That
bitch
is true.
and with a hoe in the
The
back.
high class, the 4-star hotels is different. Now, that's another thing. What's the onus on these businesses? Because there's whole hotels that's set up that's only used for this.
Yeah, really.
It's only used for drugs and pimping. So what are we supposed to do about that? Should they not be allowed to run their business? Should law enforcement be stricter on them? I think so. They want to come in the hood with fake shoes in the back of a truck to try to bait our young youth into stealing shoes. They can take the time and money they spent on that and invest it in going up in the King's Inn and cleaning the King's Inn.
And that's my thing. They know patterns. After all this time, they know how this stuff works. They know the ins and outs. And they act like all of a sudden when it's happening, they act brand new, like it's such a shock.
Yeah,
like they didn't know what was
yeah,
going on.
They know
Like
what
you
you
know where it's happening.
Mhm.
You know who's doing it. And then they just don't do anything. It's like that episode we were talking about how long it takes them to prosecute or how long it takes them to build up a case before they actually do something about it. This is that same situation.
They
Like
let it
you
roll.
know you letting it run.
They let it roll.
Because it ain't gonna change the world.
See, it will change the world. That's the point.
Holding said the pussy since the beginning. That was the first thing that went up and said.
But see, that's not even
Where did
the
they come from though? Where did they come
What you
from?
mean? Where did it
What you
come
mean?
from?
Women
A
didn't just
bitch
up and
ain't-
decided they were gonna do it on their own.
I think so.
Yes, don't fall.
I think
I don't
so.
think so.
Well, no. Matter of fact,
It was
if you
influenced
look
by
at the
them.
animal, if you look in the animal kingdom, when the bitch wants something, they offer the pussy. Every animal does that. If a bitch wants this from that male animal, they offer pussy. So when back in the early times, you think that a chick needed something to provide for herself? She didn't say she can't, because back then she can't do the shit that a man can do. You know what I'm saying? She offered up that pussy that to get her needs
But that
met.
was from the influence of men.
Oh no, you already want
I see what Brandon's saying.
pass off responsibility.
No, but that's
This is what women do.
No,
They
no.
pass off
I'm not
responsibility.
passing off responsibility.
I see
I'm
what you're
saying
saying.
that it was influenced by men. Men
She's
not
saying that if we
anything.
didn't exist,
If we didn't want
they
pussy,
wouldn't have to.
if
Yeah,
we didn't want the pussy,
they wouldn't have to
then they
sell it.
wouldn't sell it to
Yeah,
us.
supply and demand. Supply and demand.
That's what I'm saying.
It's because of men wanting pussy why I had to sell it.
But
Why you couldn't just
Men
give me?
want-
Why you
men
couldn't
want
just give me a
certain
house?
things.
Why you couldn't
Everybody
just
know
give
what
me
they
a house?
want. Generally,
no.
men want. What do they want?
And that's just the reproduce. That's the evolution.
Wait a minute.
I'm good with some head, y'all.
Yeah.
But that means
I said reproduce. This nigga say hey.
hey, whatever. I ain't got time for that.
Reproduce
Listen,
is nice way of saying.
I get what both of y'all saying, but here's the thing. I think it will change the world because I think the focus is on with the system, with the government. That's where the problem in lies. Because they don't care. If they cared more, like Bria say, the niggas would get reduced.
Trying to prosecute more.
Yeah, because the first thing we got to do, it's just like with drugs. First thing we got to do is decriminalize. That's the first thing we got to do.
Well, if you put that in, then right. But you can't just prosecute.
No,
No,
you're right.
I mean,
The first thing you have to
decriminalize.
do is decriminalize, right?
Okay, now that makes
Now sex trafficking becomes an extreme crime because that's like slavery now, like it already is. But you know what I'm saying? Like by law, you're slaving somebody into the workforce. So that's a whole different thing. So when you decriminalize it and you tax it, now that'll give the government onus to care about it because the only thing they give a fuck about is money anyways. So now when you decriminalize it and you tax it, they put onus. But the government got to care more. 17,000. Do you know how many people that I guarantee of that 17,000 most of them black? I guarantee it because you know why? You know how many black women and children go missing a year?
That they don't even
But-
tell you
but-
about.
But it's still.
They don't make the news stories.
It's
We
still
don't get an
in
Amber
our
Alert.
organs.
We don't get an
Shout out
Amber Alert.
Dr. Umar.
Say what?
It's still in our organs, nigga.
Oh.
That's what's going on.
That's the thing. They put us in human trafficking. No, I agree. They put us in human trafficking. They put us in the organ sale. They put us in all this different stuff. And black people go missing and don't nobody give a fuck. Period, point blank. And the only 17,000. I just want to keep going back to that number. Think of how many people 17,000 people is, man. That's a whole arena full of people.
Yeah. I
Gone.
think that decriminalizing it would change the whole dynamic because it takes it from blame on the woman so much and then it puts more blame on the men that are doing it. So if you decriminalize it and these men are still like raping them and making them do stuff they don't want to do, then criminalize the man that's doing it.
Right. And that's exactly why I won't be decriminalized. Because then they take away
It
from the
takes
women being
away-
punished.
Yeah.
Yeah, without the pill,
Cause right-
myself.
Yeah, but right now there's no blame being put on the men at
Right.
all.
The pimp
That's
is
the
mad.
issue.
And you know what too?
No.
Like, here's my thing. No. See, here's my
We
thing.
don't
Because-
pimp things so hard. I'm telling you.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. I feel like you should be breaking. I feel like you should be breaking out a goblet,
I love the whole.
and you should be like, "Get on the whole train." But that being said, yeah, you the Godfather. That being said, though, I think something that we haven't talked about yet too that has to be discussed is the fact that we don't like, we're not looking into the fact of these women and the abuse that's occurring. That girl said she got raped every day for 9 weeks, bro.
What? Well, this nigga here was savage.
But see, that's the thing, though.
You gonna rape her?
Okay, my research into this whole thing, a lot of the victims, bro, say they get raped every day or whatever.
By the same
They get raped every day. So if they getting raped every day, that it's all good. If they get raped every day, the mentality part, that's what comes into it, because you don't know, like, bruh, men don't get raped. This is what I had.
That's not regular pimp shit.
But see, that's why this is sex trafficking. I had a discussion with Coons and Nova about this situation, and I was like, if you ain't never been raped, tell me, you know what I'm saying? Coons and Nova ain't never been raped. So who are we to say how somebody's supposed to feel, or how they supposed to react to something, or how they supposed to fight when you got raped every day? Some people go into a shell, they get raped one time, they ain't never the same for the rest of their life. Every day. That's crazy, bro.
I'm so sick. I can't talk about this. Well, I can. It just makes me so sick to my stomach that people are that.
It's a cold world. Gotta get a sweater.
Oh, you died.
My shit cut off.
Yeah, you
Yeah, that's
died.
how it's
Oh man.
YouTube's still up. That'd be good. They should be watching on YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, man. Yeah, you can't. This shit is fuck. And then this we talking about. Okay, for us, we're comparing it to one particular story that we all are vested in, because we all listened to it, we all heard the story, we all care about it because we heard it. This story happens on an exponential level.
Every day.
800,000 times.
Every
It might
day.
not be the same exact story, but it's the same story.
And then it's not just, like, we heard a story from somebody who's, she's 27?
Yeah.
27. It's not just people that are that age that are getting it. It's like little children. This is not just affecting people who are her age.
27 kind of old now. They ain't really.
Yeah,
going
27
Yeah,
is
that's
super
real
old.
They going
Super
for
That's
13,
real old.
14,
Exactly.
15.
Even younger than that. They're
Yeah.
starting them younger. So this is not something that you should just turn a blind eye to.
Right.
That's
That's
how
not
I
right.
live in this life. It's like a reality
But
to them every day.
If you in a hotel and you see them bringing in somebody who's obviously 15 or 14 or some shit, I go there now because bitch could look 17 and I don't care about 17. I do care about it, but it ain't obvious that they're under 18. But if they obviously jits and you see this mother old bitch bringing them in,
Yeah.
how you ain't gonna do something about that?
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, man. I think this is one of the deeper, and then tied into our whole black thing. This been going on for centuries, okay? Because when they got slaves, a lot of the slave women that they sold was for sex or whatever. They were concubines or whatever, right? So the thing is, like back in the day when it was slavery time, ain't nothing prevent them from banging an 11-year-old if they wanted to. They just did what they wanted to do. And it's always been that spineless and that disgusting. And when you get on the seedy side, the dark side, it's like a two-sided street. Over here is all clean, it's being washed, and on the other side is dirty. When you flip that card over and it's dirty on the other side, it's some stuff going on, man. And Tank right, 27 is old. Ain't nobody who she was real lucky because you susceptible to all the diseases and all the bad stuff, because the people who purchasing you, they the low of the low. They the bottom of the barrel. The people who purchasing you 14, 15 years old, those are the businessmen. Those are the upper echelon people that I'm going to Vegas for the weekend. Let's get some prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the difference. But I don't know what people gonna do, because Boko Haram, right? When they kidnapped all of the young girls or whatever, and sold them into sex trafficking, and you like I said, Mexico with the cartels, they big into it or whatever. And America, I don't even know where they going. Where you hiding 17,000 people?
Right.
Because this not the people that go missing. More than that go missing.
I was gonna say it's more than that.
That go
What
missing.
they
This is the
know.
sex trafficking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Way more.
Because everybody that go missing don't end up in sex
I
trafficking.
still be skeptical about these cracker numbers. I still do think it's a lot.
I
Man,
think
even if
I think
it's even if
statistics are always
it's
gonna be
5,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Even if it's 5,000, where are you
Yeah.
hiding 5,000 girls
Yeah.
that are getting sex trafficked? And you know what? I had a little issue with the whole back pages getting shut down, and like,
I still got issues.
well, see, that's what I'm about to say. I had an issue with it getting shut down and these dudes getting charged, but I do understand why it got shut down. I understand why they did that, but I think
You know what happened now though?
what.
Now you ain't even got no way to make a stink.
That's what I was about to say. I think that the government is part of the problem. They need to charge themselves in the whole thing, because they allowed Backpage to exist for how many years?
But talk about prosecuting, boy. That was your portal into that world.
Right.
Right there.
Why you shut it down? You could have shut down all these little things. Now you ain't gonna know how to go because now you really got to be in the game with some backhand.
But they are in the game, obviously.
Well,
that's why they aren't doing anything about it because they are in the game.
Yeah.
They know exactly, like I said earlier, they know exactly what's going on. I hate that people in America and America in itself tries to put this blanket over us like we're so different from the rest of the world. No,
Greatest country in the
America
world.
is just as messed up as everybody else, and messed up stuff happens here just like every other country.
Yeah, make it
And they
great
try to
again.
hide it
It's different though.
and pro.
It's a lot different.
Nah.
Here's my thing. Here's what
I
I
can
feel.
drive from coast to coast in fucking Africa, nigga, might get my head chopped off.
That's true, but
I can drive from coast to coast.
you can
That
drive
is
from
true.
you can drive from border to border. See, that's the thing. When
Yeah.
we say coast to coast, that's because America is a country and a continent.
That's right.
But Africa or whatever, some of the like you can drive from one end of South Africa to the other end of South Africa.
I could drive from here and to Canada, here to Alaska, all the way to Alaska.
Brad just did it.
Canada,
Shout out to Brad.
all of that. I got a long. Well, I got a long way to travel for some fucked up shit to happen.
Well,
I
you
can't do that
Nothing
shit.
probably gonna happen to you.
Yeah, I can't
But
do that shit.
But here go the thing, though, or whatever. Is America more decent than somewhere like the Congo? Hell yeah, the Congo is one of the most fucked up places on earth, or whatever. But at the same time, when it comes to compare yourself to true competitors, if you are the Patriots, you don't compare yourself to the Browns. You compare yourself to the leaders, right? So America is a patriot, the Patriots, right? So you need to compare yourself to places like Denmark and Canada and England and Sweden, and we behind them on everything.
And my point is not that America is such a bad place, we just terrible. I understand that,
I'm funny.
we are better off than other countries. What I hate is the hypocrisy and us pretending like we are immune to things that go on, like the bad things that go on everywhere else.
But you know what?
It's still
That
happening.
nigga shit or white people shit.
That's
white
white people
white
stuff.
people just like they just float on a fucking cloud walking through the street.
I think
Because they feel like they up here and
Yeah.
nobody can stop them.
I think it started off as white people shit, but I think that we assimilate ourselves into white culture, so I think it's nigga shit too. Cause a lot of niggas be like, man, that shit. That's why niggas feel like ain't that no problem. Ain't no big deal. Cause it go back to what y'all say. It ain't gonna happen to me.
I disagree.
But I mean, see, again, bubbles, cause y'all talking about y'all talking about niggas that listen to this show. I'm talking about regular niggas, like the niggas next door. They don't listen to this goddamn show.
Well, people who live in wherever country you at only gonna mostly care about whatever happens
Yeah, in that, yeah.
to
That's
their
why I said I
surroundings,
disagree.
their country. Shit, like if I'm in Ghana, I only care about what the
What's
fuck
happening
happening in Ghana. Yeah, damn it.
So that's the reason. I don't think that we just want to be here and we want to assimilate. It's just like, hey, we live here,
Yeah,
so we
this
gotta
our
deal
shit.
with it right. So-
This is what we got to do.
but that's white people stuff. That's not black people stuff. I'm sorry.
White
We just,
people-
live, we just live here, so we gotta deal with it.
White people look over there, and when black people, that's when the hypocrisy come in. They don't give a fuck about what happened to the niggas. Anyway,
Do you think?
then they be pray for parents.
Exactly.
Yeah, shit like
I was about
that.
to say, do you think if the majority of
I
people
hate that
in this
traffic.
country was black, do you think sex trafficking would still be an issue?
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you said
Wait, you
that.
said what?
If the majority of the people in this country was black, would sex trafficking still be an issue?
Hell yeah. Because the race is the issue. The culture,
The culture.
Sex trafficking is a dominant, like Tank say, man won't pussy type thing, whatever. Because remember what I said at the beginning, the top 20 countries in the world for, you said that. You guys are listening to the show. But the top 20 countries in the world that have sex trafficking is from Africa. The top 20. The number one is the Congo.
But why is that though? I need to know the reason.
Because Africa is fucked up. We love Africa. I got an African shirt on right
Messed up
now.
because of what?
It's messed up because of white colonizers, but still, that's still on
I'm
us.
just saying, but you gotta get to the root. You
Oh,
can't
I'm
just
not
say
gonna
stuff
take-
like that. and
You
not
right.
just
You
say
right.
the reasoning for it.
How long?
How long
Right.
are you going to keep?
Yeah.
I agree. I'm
I
not
know.
disagreeing with you. I'm just
No.
saying, where did it come from?
Right. We get where the root come from. Here's what I think about Africa. I'm not pulling tank.
I'm just
Goddamn.
saying.
Somebody get my Make America Great hat again.
Come on,
Okay.
Pitts. I'm talking to you, Pitts.
Goddamn.
I
Yeah.
actually saw somebody for the first time with a Make America Great Again hat.
Did you slap it
It
off
was
their
like
head
a
and be like, try
really
to bitch
old
ass
white
nigga?
dude.
Oh, yeah, you been there.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
really, I was like,
You ever slap it off his head?
No, it's not.
You
I'm
soft.
saying
I would slap that shit off
First of all, I was
your
at
head.
work. And second of all, I don't care.
You be like, bitch, ain't no
And
law.
it's still a man. He probably gonna put that old man Trump on real ass.
Trouble.
Wow. That's Ronda Rousey. What? Black Ronda Rousey.
What's he gonna do?
Look at her. She thinking about ways to choke him out right now.
Yeah.
Scoop out his brains.
All I would
with
have had to
a
do
spoon.
was kick his leg. dick under. He would.
See, she already knows.
Oh,
Step
I
on
would
the
even have to hit him first.
I want to see this nigga fight.
Who, real?
I want to see this nigga fight.
We saw that at the podcast. I've been looking for a fight all
No,
day.
I'm not.
Choking word. So, that means I'm gonna be pissed for a minute. Take Trump. I'm gonna say this though. How long are we going to sit up here and let the white people fuck us up be the reason why we don't get better? Africa been in control of Africa since the 50s. Now the last country to get its freedom in Africa was in 1970 something from England or whatever countries or whatever. So you've been in charge. Now yes, they did leave huge economic and
And they
political
still-
gaps, and a lot of them are puppet.
Still putting their fingers in.
Yeah, and a lot of them are puppet economies. But I tell you why you can do it, and it shouldn't be allowed to be an excuse. Look at what's going on with the EFF in South Africa right now. They is like, dude just came out yesterday and was like, fuck Trump. White people being like Trump, he do not surprise me or shock me. I am not scared of him. And he was like, and they said, well, what do you feel? Because he said, if I get elected, I'm taking all the white people land, and they ain't getting nothing back, right? So the other dude was like, yeah, I want to take the land too, but I want to give the white people, they have to be able to stay on there because they've been there, but the black people have the deeds. Black dude from the EFF say, fuck all them deeds.
You hear me? What?
It's our stuff. Ain't no deeds.
Bye.
Get the fuck out. I don't care where you
You got so many places you can go.
They asked buddy where you gonna go. He said, I do not care where they go. They are,
Just go.
they are fucking scum. He was like, I don't care where they go. And he was like, if you don't want, it was just like,
Like so racist.
bro, so that's what he said. He said, if you think,
I thought it was about predator and prey.
I'm not
I
saying
thought
I
that's what
don't
was
love
about.
it.
Oh,
For
okay.
I just tell the truth no matter what, but I still love it.
Here's what he said.
Racist as
He was
fuck.
saying-
Fuck them crackers.
Here's what he said. He was
Yeah,
like,
okay.
they said that. It was like, well, that's racist. They told him that. He was like, what was racist is when they came in here and took the shit in the first
In the first
place.
place,
So
that's
it's
racist.
not racist.
Me taking back what's mine is not.
That's what he said. He said it's not racist, it's
Yeah,
payback.
It's payback. Like
So-
you came over here and took what's mine,
Right.
and I want it back. That's not racist.
And just like fucking Suge Knight said when he said you don't want people dancing all in your videos, he was like, if you don't want us taking to white people's house, don't vote for the EFF. But if you want us to take them houses back and get your land, we going to the EFF. Bro, it's an iconic picture of South Africa.
I hope they model this shit after the Constitution and stick to it. But that's the best thing.
Man, that shit gonna be the wild, wild west. You crazy as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't even think
niggas will talk shit about America all they want. But
It takes so much
in order to
take
make
time,
to
though.
keep a stable government, this shit been stable for
South Africa got a strong constitution though.
yeah, whatever they constitution, whatever they
Yeah,
want to
it's
put in it,
strong.
I don't know what the fuck it is, but make a constitution and stick to that shit. So it don't be this fucking crazy, like you said, wild, wild west.
It's gonna be the wild, wild.
shit.
Here's my thing about that, right? So niggas, in general, I just think it's the wild, wild west over there because it's just you can't. You can't establish anything, and here's global economics or whatever. And I know we get into a whole different thing, but global economics or whatever are contingent on people working with you. And the only people that want to do business with these African countries is China and Russia.
That's all they need.
I was gonna say
That's
that's fine.
all they need.
Oh, that's right.
Fuck America.
But here
Yeah.
go the thing. Those are the only people want to do business with you, and they do have money, right? So recently, Nigeria started doing it, and some other countries did. But guess what happened when Nigeria took all those things from China and said, "Yo, we'll let you have a base here if you give us money, or we'll let you build this and do this infrastructure stuff." America and the other countries like, we no longer have relations with you because you're doing relations with the countries that we don't do relations with.
Cool.
So
Fuck them. Yeah,
And
you can't
Africa-
survive. That's how you
what?
got to do it.
Well, how long they gonna do it? Because they fear being
America.
separated from the Western world.
Yeah, they
because
gonna
they
say
want
fuck
to be Western.
Because you think Japan or Germany don't give a fuck about none of that
Don't
shit.
care.
They like,
Honestly.
we got backers. like I said last week, you got to be backed by a world power. You got China right, even though they might be thinking of some old way to fuck them over.
They are.
You just got to be ahead of the shit, and you got to have a world power backing your economy and your exports and imports and shit that you need.
I hope they can
Fuck
get it
them.
done because, man, Africa's you're right about that coast to coast driving shit. Africa's a dangerous place. It's a dangerous place. And if you a woman, you and Stephanie, both of y'all gonna snipes.
Oh, yes,
Oh, yeah.
y'all all that
Yeah.
meat on you?
Yeah.
They might eat half your
what
life and say
the
the
more meat you got,
I know.
Oh my God.
You hear me?
Oh, she is light skinned.
Oh my.
She is light skinned. She is belly
Oh.
thick. She is red teeth.
Come from the river.
Shut from the rebound. Yeah, y'all gone, man. And that's the thing, man. Like, I just don't know where they hide these 17,000 people in America though.
Right.
That's what I want to know. I think it might be like Taken, where they take the girl and then leave, and take her out of the country or whatever. It gotta be.
So it ain't specific niggas, this whole operation.
Yeah.
Basically what it is.
Colts.
Mhm.
I
Gotta
think
be.
people think that when they see these spy movies or when they see these TV shows and they have girls that are being smuggled like in and out for sex trafficking, I think people don't think that that's like really going on. They think it's just a TV show,
That's really one.
but that's really going on.
and-
They're
and
reporting it.
You ain't lying, because when I was talking to Carrie and interviewing her, she was like, a lot of days she was incoherent because they would force her to like use drugs, like put heroin in her arm and stuff, so she didn't know where she was. I'm like, damn, that's like Taken. So the shit crazy, man. Like, yeah. And then like we have to, the first thing we gotta do though, I think we gotta legalize it. Okay, decriminalize it. Then we have to actually give a fuck about the victims. And then we might get somewhere. Cause right now, as we doing this podcast, it's somebody getting kidnapped and forced into that. It's somebody getting raped and beaten by their pimp. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Pimp's trash, though. I'm sorry. I'm back off the pimp train.
Yeah, I know. The more you talk about that bullshit, the more you live. But imagine these bitches running rampant in the streets without no pimp and how savage these clientele, these niggas looking for pussy.
But if
I want to
if
know
you-
how better it is in Amsterdam because it's legal there, right?
That's what I'm about to say. If you I was just about to make that point. In Berlin too, if you legalize it, you can't just go willy-nilly beating and raping a prostitute, because then she'll never go to the police and be like, we had this business transaction where I was supposed to pay me for the pussy, he beat my ass.
Well, until it's legalized, pimps is a necessary evil.
That's why you legalize it, they instantly gone.
Yeah.
That's what needs to happen.
Right.
That's what exactly. I agree. That's what need to happen.
I can just imagine you call Backpage and already the mentality before you even looking at these bitches on Backpage is, ain't no pimp. I ain't even gotta worry about a pimp. Ain't nothing in here. I ain't gotta pay this bitch. I ain't gotta pay this bitch nothing. I'm gonna fuck.
Maybe it's like it's like a psychological thing. Like it's giving women charge over their bodies again.
Yep, can't do
Like
it.
nobody else has control
No,
over
she's
their
right. That's why it's
body.
not legal.
Yeah, that's
Anything that give women's bodily control rights, they don't
Right
do
to
it.
me.
You know that if you
Oh yeah, that'll get y'all the ups on us.
Right.
Yeah,
And
they have
they don't
y'all
want
have
that. They don't
the
want that to
ups.
happen. That's what
Because
it
you
is.
know what?
People are just practicing.
If you just crack the case, that's what I'm expecting, Gadget.
yeah.
You might be right.
But you know, if you're married and you don't want to have kids no more, and you want to get your tubes tied, and your husband say no, you can't get your tubes tied.
I'm sorry, what?
You heard me.
And I think that is reasonable. And
I don't think that's
No, and you can't get no vasectomy either.
And I also don't think that's
Alright.
reasonable.
If you married,
It's your
you
body.
get a divorce.
It's your body.
But it's simple. Get a divorce.
It's your body.
Yeah.
It's your
They're not
body.
stopping you from doing it. Don't just get a divorce.
Now, Bria, when you go to say this out your mouth, I just want you to know, when you go to say this out your mouth, you gonna go ahead. Just say it. Just go ahead and
When
say
we
it.
married, we is one. You can't just go doing all kind of shit.
Yes, you can.
I
What-
agree.
Thank
I'm sorry.
you.
I agree with that.
No, that's
that's-
happening.
No,
I guess we-
no. What I'm saying,
I
like, don't
agree.
get married then, because that's what being married is.
Not like that.
Yeah, but
But you
that's
got married, you're in a joint place, you share your finances, you share
see, here go
everything.
why marriage don't need to be recognized by the state. This is why, see, this is, we getting into this real quick. This is why marriage don't need to be recognized by the state. Number one, it's looked at by most people, I would say 90% of people, or 99% of people look at it as a religious institution. The state should not acknowledge any religious stuff. It's a secular state, period. That's not even up for debate. That's a fact. Or whatever.
So what should it be called?
Listen, so when you do a marriage or whatever, that's bullshit because they get benefits and shit that other people don't get. They should recognize civil unions only. That's it. And that
What
way,
is a civil union?
agreement between two people
For what? To do what?
to dwell or whatever. Not to dwell, but to work together. They take on each other financial burdens and stuff like that.
But then they also have a law that after 7 years, if you've been with somebody, you
No
guys
longer.
share the finances.
No longer. Common
that
law
was a-
marriages
That
no
was a
longer.
silly ass law.
No longer.
Fuck that.
No
Since
longer.
when?
Since 2003 or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
No
longer.
I don't
Jeb
think so.
Bush got rid of
No, I
that.
don't think so.
So a civil union
I don't think so.
or whatever.
Because see, the
That's
civil
what it
union
is.
thing, it eliminate saying gay marriage is a thing, whatever. You can enter a civil union with any conscious adult who can vouch for themselves or whatever. I'm cool with that. But when you start talking about this marriage, because a civil union wouldn't have nothing to do with your bodily parts. That's your own body. How? Because if me and Bria get married, how Bria, because she want to have kids, or whatever, and I
Well,
don't.
then what
How
happens?
she can tell me not
Okay,
to get
well,
a
all right,
vasectomy?
if we-
Like
all
I
right.
said, get a divorce and leave.
All right, well, listen, if we have a civil union and I won't still want to have kids with you, and you
That's not got nothing to do with the state. That ain't got nothing to do with the government.
Well, you ain't never finished. And if I'm in a civil union and you don't want to have kids, but I do, and I want to break off the civil union because of that. What's the consequences of that? Who is it on?
It would be written into the contract. It would be written into the civil union
No, well,
that you want a divorce, and then you will know the civil union.
Then you will know the civil union. So what's the difference between that and marriage?
The marriage thing is you could tell when you're
If I don't want you to have it, then we just get a divorce. It's the same
It's the
thing.
same thing.
But people don't get divorces, bro. That's the
You
point.
can if you want
Because
to.
it's
But why
financial penalty. That's my thing.
It would be a financial penalty if you're for the civil
No,
thing.
it
But
wouldn't.
what if you put
Why
it in the
wouldn't it?
clause?
Yeah.
If you put it in the contract, then it would still be a financial
What? That you
penalty.
can split?
Yes. It
Under,
would
the,
be the same
under the
thing.
civil union thing that I'm talking about, you can split a civil union whenever you want with no penalty. I don't think it should be a penalty for
What the
splitting
fuck is a civil
with
union?
somebody. I'm making this up as I go along.
Okay, well you gotta think this out more and then come back to
No,
it.
I gotta think it out
Because
loud.
it's not making no sense.
Marriage is bullshit.
That's just because you
But
think.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
They're both the same
Yes,
thing.
but the only difference is the marriage is a religious institution. That's where you get the whole gay marriage debate. That's where you get the whole a woman being able to tell a man he can't get a vasectomy or vice versa.
No,
I'm saying eliminate
That's
that.
relationship shit.
I think that's
If I'm in a rela- if I'm in a
I don't think
relationship,
that's
yeah.
a religious thing. That's a relationship.
Relationship. If I'm with
At
you,
some point, you're gonna want to get married.
I don't want you to get a vasectomy. If you do want to get, we're not gonna be together.
Right, but that's
Same
the
thing
thing.
as marriage.
The state should not be allowed to do that. If I go to the hospital, what? Listen what I'm saying. If I go to the hospital,
legal document.
if I go to the hospital and I want to get a vasectomy, and I'm of age to get my vasectomy, the doctor, if I'm not going to die from the vasectomy, should perform the vasectomy. No different.
What if you have a
than
civil union?
But this is my thing. Here's my thing. This is what I'm saying. If Bria want to go to the hospital and get her tubes tied, and she's of age, she should be able to do it. It shouldn't be Bria go to the hospital to get her tubes tied, and they're like, "Are you married?" I shouldn't have nothing.
What
to
if
do
they
with
have a civil union? They'll be like, do you have a civil union?
And I'm saying they shouldn't have nothing to do with that. They shouldn't.
Wow,
say
if I say I want to have kids, and you go to the doctor and you say I want a vasectomy after we done had a civil union, and the doctor gonna say, you have
It's the same
No,
thing.
ain't that rules to break the civil union?
No, that's what I'm saying. Underneath the civil union, you just get the thing. Now, if you want to go,
If you want to get
But if we
penalized,
have a
what's the
single-
penalty for
right,
that?
if you have a
No
single-
penalty? No.
We got a whole
That makes no
contract.
sense. That's
We
a
got a whole
contract.
contract.
No, because that's what I'm saying. It's not in the contract, the whole body thing.
But what if it is?
It's not. That's what I'm telling you. That's don't
what
put
the
it in
civil union
there.
is.
That's what I'm saying. You can't put
That's
that
what
in
the civil
there.
union would
That's what I'm
do.
saying.
So there's no backing.
So
then if I do want to break the civil union because you done got a vasectomy,
Right.
now I don't want the civil union no more because I want kids.
Then
and
you
don't.
break the civil
Then I break
union.
it. And what's the penalty for that? There's no penalty.
There's no penalty.
You just break the civil union.
You just break it. Why?
Oh, you know,
Why
it's
is
finance. It's finances and all kinds of stuff involved in this. You can't
Oh,
just break
but
something.
it's
Okay,
all-
when you break the
And
civil
it doesn't even apply.
No, when you break
It's houses, it's money, it's stocks,
Right.
it's retirement.
We'll legally split that off. That's fine. But I'm saying, like, okay, for example, I give you one more example. No, I'll give
You gotta take this out somewhere.
No,
I come back and bro, listen to this.
No,
I do have a civil union.
I'll give you one more example. Okay, say that if you married right now,
Yeah.
right, and me and Bria married, and I commit adultery on Bria. When I go to court, Bria got all the advantage because I committed adultery or whatever. That should not matter to the state. That's my point. So under my civil union thing, me and Bria under a civil union. Now to us we married, but the state only recognizes our civil union. I commit adultery on Bria or whatever. Bria no longer wants to be with me because I committed adultery or whatever, right? We go to court, we split it down the
what?
middle.
You
They
split what?
never
Split
bring
what down the middle?
the money, the
How
house,
much?
and all that
The
stuff.
money in the houses. If Bria buys a house, all right, and then we have a civil union. All our stuff is together because we're together.
Right.
All right. She bought the house, so then you fuck around with her. Who gets the house?
We have to talk that out in court, but you can't.
Okay.
Like, here's my thing. Somebody's going to get penalized.
Right.
No. That's my point.
But somebody
Right,
loses.
as of right now,
Who makes more money?
it don't. That's a whole different argument.
No, that doesn't matter. That goes down to
Here's my
it.
point. Here's my point. As of right now, if you're married and you cheat, the person that cheat,
Mhm.
if I cheat on Bria, she probably gonna get the house because I cheated.
Well
They'll be like,
deserved.
well, you violated the marriage.
Well deserved.
I don't think that have nothing to do with the state. The
No,
state
yeah.
shouldn't be in your personal business.
You leaving it up to these human beings to work it out amongst themselves?
That's what you gotta do as a human.
No.
We need
Somebody gonna be killed. Look
I was
at
gonna say that's not gonna work out.
if
That's
Mary
not
J.
gonna
Blige marries her road dude,
Yes.
all right, now her money is his money.
Right.
When y'all break that civil union, where does the money go?
Well, then you will leave with what you. Okay, we'll get back in.
You gotta
We gonna have to.
It's
I'm
not-
not
This
saying
is
you will
not-
leave with what you
yeah.
came in with. It's like Tiger Woods' wife,
Leave
right?
what you came in with.
You will leave what you accumulated and what you came in with. So,
How you gonna calculate what accumulated?
Tiger Woods'
How
wife.
you calculate that? You
Tiger-
made a
Tiger
agreement,
Woods'
y'all
wife,
made it
whatever.
together.
Tiger Woods' wife. Tiger Woods worth almost $3
You
billion.
get-
2.8 something billion dollars or
Yeah.
whatever, right? Okay, Elin Nordgaard or whatever, when she married Tiger Woods, she wasn't even worth $100,000.
So what did you get after 8 years being together? What did you get? What you need?
She get her $100,000.
She got $100,000.
Oh, no,
Less
no.
Okay.
accumulative money.
How was that accumulated? Is it a system?
Whatever she made.
Whatever she made. I don't know what
How
she
you know
got.
she
If
made?
Tiger want to give her some extra, he can give her some extra.
If he fucked other bitches, then you break up. Whatever I want to give you, bitch. That's what I'm
Right,
gonna
like
give.
what?
She ain't
You
got
know
that
what?
sense.
Like, that
She ain't
makes
do
no
nothing.
sense.
She
That
ain't
makes
do
no
nothing.
sense.
Name a golf ball that Elin Nordgaard hit.
That makes no sense.
So why did she get $780 million?
But you leaving out the feelings and emotions.
Ain't no,
I'm
I don't
sorry.
care. That's my point.
But you got to. We human.
Okay,
A
me
civil
and
union,
you-
a civil union puts together your
But
finances.
see, here go my thing. Me and you, we can care about my emotions and our feelings and all that. Me and you on some personal shit. But the U.S. United States government should not give a fuck about your feelings.
No, they don't. But
They
you,
do.
No,
Leave it
no,
there.
no, no,
They
no.
do.
leave
No,
it
you
up to
argue.
you.
Yeah, you argue what's responsible for you and with them
Exactly.
or whatever.
Let me ask you something.
And the state settles it.
Elin Nordgaard came in with $100,000. She left with $780 million in a castle.
Right for the
Right?
soul.
Right?
Right for the
Do
soul.
you think that her feelings and emotions ain't have nothing to do with that?
It don't matter or
Come
whatever.
on, it do
But
matter.
did she get half? Either way, if you get half.
She didn't get half. They settled. Because half would have been $1.5 billion.
So how much did she get?
$780
And
million.
you got no problem with it.
Yes, that's too much.
If it was
money.
a civil union, that's why. That's what it boils down
That's what
to.
it is. We
I don't
gonna find
care,
the
bro.
source.
If me and Bria get married, and we got $1,000, if I come into the marriage with Bria, she got 100 and I got 1,000, and we get married, and then we get a divorce, and now I have made, because I'm some superstar podcast host, I have made $20,000, and Bria don't host the podcast, and she my wife or whatever. She ain't getting no damn $10,000. She ain't do nothing. Period, point blank.
But we have been together.
I don't care.
We done
I don't
talked about
care.
finances.
See, you said the
Don't
state, but
nobody
it's
know
more than, it's
what's
not the
what.
state that said it.
It's
This is the
not.
people.
You're right,
This
it's
is what the
people.
people think
You
we
can't
should
leave out
be.
other people.
You thinking that the
Even
state
with
giving
the
up
civil-
half. It's not the
Right.
state.
It's
That's
even
them.
with the civil
Thinking that
thing.
that's what
I
they
can
do. That's
still-
society.
No, I can still kill you, and because I want it all. It's the same thing.
I'm gonna kill you. You gonna have
I'ma kill
murders.
you, 'cause I want everything.
That's why
Listen.
marriage is toxic.
No,
And it
civil
should be
union
done
gonna be
with-
toxic.
Civil
because
union is the
if I'm
same
not gonna get
thing.
nothing, when you leave, after we've been together for 10 years,
I'm gonna kill you
I'm
because
gonna
marry
I
you.
want this money.
Exactly, marriage is
I
toxic.
can have
It's the same.
boys to get a hysterectomy if I want. Bump
That's
it
right.
all. Like, I mean, I
Yeah,
understand that.
that's when it's a whole other thing. Yes,
No.
no. But we ain't gonna be together. I'm gonna divorce you.
Well, then-
Get out of here.
It's the same thing.
If you want
It's
to
the same thing.
shit, what Kodak said, if you want to leave, then leave. Shit,
You
leave.
ain't lie to me.
You ain't got a lot of me. Shit, get out of
That was a
here.
whole other topic.
It is.
I don't care.
Who give a fuck?
God damn it. Whatever. We 10 years into the marriage and niggas just want to cut his nuts off.
Like what?
Or if a nigga want to turn into Chris Jenner. What about that?
And you think you
Niggas
don't have
wanna
to
be
consult
Caitlyn.
me or at least talk to me about
Leave.
it?
Then divorce.
Niggas just want to be on Caitlyn.
Leave. See, this is the problem for me.
Right.
For me personally.
No.
For me personally, I don't care if it's man or woman, because this all opinion based. I don't care if it's man or woman. My problem is I don't like the emphasis of a person not adding anything to it and getting some of the money like they did
It's
something.
not exactly true to say they didn't add. See,
I don't care about all that support shit. We gotta talk about this on
Yeah, because you basing this off
Because-
you basing this off a bullshit relationship that you have.
No, I'm basing
And
this
you
off of
basing
my
this off of,
personal
like-
opinion.
No,
Yes,
but you're
your
basing this
personal
off of like rich people and stars and actors and stuff like that. That's what you're basing it off.
I also
You're not
feel
basing
like
it
not
off
the
of
average
it.
person.
Yeah, that's not the average person.
Okay, I also feel like if you work in a construction thing and you pay all the bills and your wife is a housewife and she don't do nothing, I don't feel like
Oh,
she
she
should pay
don't
my
do
house.
nothing.
She don't get my house.
Well,
period.
housewives don't do nothing. They got maids. Somebody else raised the
I don't
baby.
believe in
Okay,
alimony.
well,
You talking about them? That's not the average. What about
That's
somebody
not the
that's
Bria,
real?
Bria, do you believe in alimony?
Hell no. You get what you get when it's
That's not
free.
what I listen
That's
to.
my
Alimony is
I don't
bullshit.
believe in no alimony. What about you, Stan? You believe in alimony?
Yeah.
Shut your ass up.
Bria, you believe in it?
I mean, to an extent. Let's just put it like that.
I don't
No,
think
that's man or woman.
See, that's my thing. I don't feel like bitches should get no alimony. Period.
No, fuck
Period.
that.
I'm not paying you. Go get a job.
Yeah.
Actually, I lied. No, I don't.
Go get a job. That's not my point.
Yeah, I'm with you on the alimony.
Because if I'm rich and I done accumulated all of this and we were together and you just think I'm gonna pay for your stuff for the rest of your life, that's not.
Yeah, that's
I'm
crazy.
not doing that.
Anywho,
You
Bruh
can get a
Nation,
job.
we got off on a rant
And provide.
because
I'm not doing that.
y'all know I can't let niggas try me.
You ain't. Oh, no.
Fuck the alimony.
Yeah, but I appreciate everybody joining us for Burlesque Podcast episode number 24. We can go ahead and get out of here and get to these final thoughts. I want to thank Carrie again for doing Burlesque 2 episode 1. Also, I want to say thanks to everybody that tuned into that and checked it out. We appreciate it. Yeah, I want to see if I'm missing something. I don't think I'm missing nothing. So we're going to go ahead and get to the final thoughts and see how everybody feel coming out this episode. Real, you can go first.
Oh.
I mean, you right to the left. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I feel like we need to take this sex trafficking, whatever you call it, whatever variations of it there is. We need to take it more seriously. And when people tell you their story to cops or people around them or whatever like that, take it seriously because this stuff is happening to people every day and it's real. And I think it's so selfish and so inhumane for you to say, oh, she lying just off the bat. Well, you have never experienced something like that and you've never gone through it or you don't even know somebody that's gone through it. So I think that in general, we need to take it more seriously and be there for these people. And there needs to be more, places like Hubbard House and social workers that are helping these people out. That's all we really talk about. So,
Yeah, that's fine.
that's it. But take it more serious. That's all.
Stephanie, what's your final
Yeah,
thought?
just decriminalizing the system, mainly that, and get rid of the pimps. I mean, I gotta stress that issue. I think that's, pretty much where it's at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, don't never think somebody dealing with something, like, believe them no matter what. In that situation, it may not be in human trafficking. It could have been something else. You never know, Somebody just may need help.
Cool. Tank, final thought?
I like preventative measures or whatever. So, to the bitches, look here. If you don't want some dick, and you tell you to go to the hotel, it ain't gonna go well. That's number one. Goddamn it. Every nigga's a scumbag, all right? You don't know the thoughts that be going through my head. When I'm standing behind a bitch, I just be thinking I want to jump in her ass and stick my head in all kind of crazy shit.
Oh,
Okay? So look, the niggas is birds, niggas is weirdos. Alright? So always take the extra step. Just act as if that nigga is already fucking crazy. And then give them time to prove you wrong.
Right. Okay, I agree.
Alright? And yeah, that's it. Watch your back.
I agree with that.
Keep some lube.
I agree with that. That's cool. My final thought, I'm gonna say this, man. As humans, I think we should have more compassion for each other or whatever. Again, and 800,000 around the world is a lot, but 17,000, although Tank disputes the number of 17,000 in America is a lot. One is too many.
Right.
So look at it like that. So sex trafficking is one of those things where, like, it's a very, very sad thing. And if you go back and listen to the interview with Carrie, that's a dark interview, man. It's some crazy stuff going on in general. So I feel like as people, we just got to come together and do better as helping these victims. We got to get these victims more help than what they're getting. They're not getting what they can. So again, like I say all the time, if you want to be a social worker and help victims like Stephanie, or you want to go out there and start a shelter or whatever, do whatever you need to do to get that right, because it's kind of sad, man, what's going on, and they really going through a lot. I also want to say this real quick for the niggas in Jacksonville that's listening. Y'all niggas turning Jacksonville into Chicago. We can't even have a freaking football game in high school without y'all shooting up the whole damn school. And it ain't the high school kids, it's grown people fucking it up and shooting shit. Now they want to talk about getting metal detectors.
One
and all this shit.
nigga get shot in one eye like the world.
Yeah, like what? Like that. But that's my thing. Y'all know how they gonna treat us. So stop. They want to treat you like an animal. So stop acting like
All
an
they
animal.
need is a little excuse.
Bro, yeah, they'll do anything. They'll take any little thing and turn it into
They're
a
gonna
mountain.
act like now it was World War III in Jackson.
Hell yeah, because the niggas got one
Just
damn,
'cause one-
two niggas got beef.
It's World War III.
That's what I'm saying.
They like-
So don't give them the opportunity to treat you like an animal, man. That's come on, Jacksonville. God damn. Ridiculous. That being said, man, bro, listen podcast number 24 in the books. Yeah, we talked about some human trafficking. Hopefully it helped anybody. Oh, one more thing. If you are a victim of this or you got something going on where you getting abused, try to get some help, man.
Oh, yeah, there is a
Reach
lot.
out to somebody. Everybody ain't gonna be that cop and be like, fuck y'all.
Usually at the end, the podcast and radio, they have somebody for y'all to call. We ain't got no damn body.
Yeah,
You
that's
better look that shit up in the yellow book and find somebody.
man. That's crazy, Tank. Y'all call 911. That's a number.
No, man, niggas have professional be like, call blah 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 at the center for blah blah blah. We don't know none of that shit.
We don't know it.
Well, you got to do better.
I ain't bet nobody. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is or whatever. But man, hey, well, seriously though, get some help, man. One of those places with the sign that say safe place, go in that bitch. Don't come out of Wendy's until they get you some help.
YMCA, they still help.
They still help you. Do something, man. Do something. Men and women, because it's men. A lot of men are sold in, or boys sold into sex trafficking as well. So
I ain't
men
know that.
and women. So yeah. Until next time, bro nation. All power to the people. Peace.
KY Jet.
Yeah, I don't believe in alimony. Just clarify that. Because